I'm a Pleiadian Starseed, and I broke up with the Starseed Collective, and here's why. I'm a Pleiadian soul, and I literally connect with the Pleiadians and the Arcturians all the time. But there's a shift in the collective that needs to happen. At first, I was all in. The ascension, the galactic intervention, the cosmic purpose, the spiritual meaning, the collective manifestations. I felt like I had found a portal to another dimension, one where everyone believed in something bigger, dreamed of something greater, and spoke the language of consciousness and connection with the vibration of truth. But eventually I realized that for most of the Starseeds, this was just an identity that was mostly smoke and mirrors. Everyone was talking about galactic contact, but no one was actually embodying their higher consciousness. Everyone was talking about getting downloads, but no one was actually creating them in the real world. Everyone was waiting for aliens to come and save humanity, but no one was actually building a new future. Everyone wanted to be a healer and fix everybody else, but no one was integrating their own loops. For so many in the collective, it was deep victimhood masking as a savior complex. Victimhood about trauma, money, politics, the world, society, the pain, the suffering, how hard life is, or whatever. I kept thinking, does no one see that we're here to change the world, not just escape it? That's the whole point. And unless we release the victimhood and step into empowerment as creators, nothing will change. It's up to us. Now don't get me wrong, Starseeds are a real thing, and my contact with the Pleiadians and Arcturians taught me a lot. But I also see what the collective seems to be encouraging. They've let it become another victim trap that inflates the ego of emotionally wounded people who can't see past their own suffering, trapping them in a loop waiting for another external savior. The whole message that I got in my downloads was to transform myself and start creating. But it seems like only a few actually got that memo. So many are just stuck in another loop, searching for answers that can only be found when one starts to change themselves. I watched people theorize about the meaning of life rather than actually living life, like a business professor that's never actually started a business. I saw enough of that shit in college, so why is that here too, in a place where people profess to be of a higher consciousness, illuminators of truth, or guides of humanity's ascension? No one was actually putting in the work to build those visions. It was all talk and no real movement. I watched people loop, labeling their emotional wallowing as self-expression and evolution. I watched people obsess over the identity of being a starseed rather than embody the power of their own cosmic connection. I watched people chase getting out of this dimension to ascend off somewhere else rather than embody their own power and live out the purpose they proclaimed. It's almost worse than the organized religions. At least they built something, but these damn starseeds won't stay focused long enough to see anything through. I watched people talk about great visions, but the moment it's time to show up and build, they've got more healing to do, or the energy is too intense. So they'll stay in bed for a week telling themselves that they're getting activated with downloads or having ascension symptoms, but the only thing getting activated is their avoidant self-sabotage patterns, giving them something to stay busy with. I watched people avoid discomfort and be coddled by everyone around them, perpetuating these behaviors. I watched people bypass any form of ownership or self-accountability, and I watched the community enable and cheer them for wearing their victim loops like badges of honor. And worst of all, the coddling disguised as divine inspiration, procrastination disguised as manifestation, self-loathing masking as healing, judgment cloaked as liberating people, apathy disguised as divine intervention, and escapism pretending to be ascension. But you know what you can't escape? Nature. Nature remains connected, but nature is not soft. It is rigorous, unforgiving, and direct. And I realized the most cosmically aligned thing I can do is create, build, and expand. The most purpose-filled thing I can do is show the fuck up even when I don't feel like it. At the core of our true nature, we are creators. But most of the starseeds will do anything to avoid actually creating. They'll tell any imaginable story to excuse them from embodying their own power and taking ownership of their reality and actions. And when they're called on it, they'll invent spiritual battles to fight so they can continue the victim loop with their savior identity. But that's not what the world needs. The world needs creators who are committed to seeing what needs to change within themselves and then changing themselves. The world needs builders who are willing to see what needs to change in the world and then go build whatever is needed to fucking change it. But the people who change the world the most are not the most cosmically connected, spiritual, or enlightened. They're the most consistent. They're the most committed and devoted to their mission. They're the most tolerant of extreme discomfort. And mostly, they're entrepreneurs. They build businesses with purpose. They craft empires out of divinely inspired ideas. And they don't wait around for alignment. They create alignment through action. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm still down for a good conversation about aliens, and I'm still here to be an advocate for open contact. I'll never knock a good CE5 meditation or galactic contact event. For fuck's sake, I guide people through embodiment of their starseed aspects, and I've hosted multiple CE5 contact events. My life's work was inspired by what I learned directly from the Pleiadians and the Arcturians. But let's stop pretending that waiting for aliens to save us is the answer. They're here, but they're only here to remind us of the capacity we can expand within ourselves, to show us a map for integrating and embodying our own divine power, to inspire us into aligned action to build the bridge between our inner world and the outer one, bringing the divine power out of the 5D and into the real world. I didn't discover the idea of starseeds on social media or in a book. I made contact with my higher consciousness in my own experience before I ever heard the word Pleiadian or starseed, and before I knew anything about the CE5 method. Those experiences taught me how to open my consciousness and see a bigger picture. But to be honest, I've had to step back from the community on this one to get focused on how to actually impact the world. And that's what the reality creation process is for me. It's my process that I received in my contact experience with the Pleiadians for embodying the energy of radical creation. Now, if you're still here, you're probably nodding your head, and you've probably walked a similar path. It's time to build, so let's fucking build. And if you want my help breaking out of the loops and embodying your creative power, I've put something at the link in my bio for you, right up here or right down here. It's time to break the cycles, activate your source code, and build like the creators we were meant to be. I'll see you guys on the flip side.